Hi,
Hi, I'm Lana.
and I'm Lori.
Welcome back to Lana and Lori Life Unleashed.
Yes, and we want to kind of continue. We've started a few different topics and we're just rambling. So we actually don't have a script. We kind of get ideas in our head and then we find a spot to sit and we just start rolling with the videotaping. But
It's like our natural conversations.
yes, we actually should just have one of those GoPros as we walk with
probably.
us. Yeah. So we're talking about, both of us have had to do a lot of pivoting financially and building a lot of our financial literacy, which yes, we do more of that in schools today, but we didn't do it when we went through school. And we're both, learning from other people and growing in our financial savviness, and making mistakes along the way too. But something that we're talking about is how people don't talk about money.
No, they don't talk about money, and our friendship has grown to a level of trust where we've started to open up to each other about it, and it's been very helpful because it's important to talk about things that you've learned and to share resources and information, because there is a lot out there. There's a lot of YouTube and podcasts and stuff like that books that you can pick up for yourself and you can read and listen to. But if you don't share that information, then then everyone's remaining in your circle is remaining in the dark. And what's the point of that? There's enough money to go around. It's not like we're in competition with each other. We can share information.
Yep, I agree. And for myself, I have a very good friend. I mean, besides our conversations a lot, and Lana's done a lot of research and a lot of reading books that she's going to share with us and podcasts that she's then passed on to me. And I also have a friend in finances and very successful in finances. But I've had very little talks with her about finances because we just don't talk about money in our culture, or some reason it's not okay. And this year I started to talk to her about money, and I am way better for it. Way better. And at one point when she said to me, "Oh, Lori, like everybody's struggling at something or other. I am, everyone is. And why don't we talk about it?" And that's what sparked my idea for this episode.
Well, yeah. And it took you going through your husband's health crisis and I going through a marriage breakdown before we both started to really look into our financial situation and take ownership of it and become more independent in it and more knowledgeable. And why did it have to take that for us to learn?
Well, I wasn't interested. Interested. I really was. It's not that I'm not intelligent or not, but I just was really not interested. And I, gave that responsibility to my husband, and I should have shared more of that with him, and we even should have had more conversations than we did. And I
was interested, but living in the society we live in, he was the one that was supposed to be taking care of it, and yet I don't want to say too much, but definitely when you're in a marriage, you have to be on the same page and working together and being a team. And when there's fractures in that and it doesn't happen, then it definitely slows things down and your progress is much slower. So yes, if we are open with our friend groups and our trusted family members, you don't have to necessarily talk about dollars, but you can talk about strategy.
And I found this great book, or I've heard this great thing, or this person is really good at investing. I just got to share for a moment because you're probably hearing a panting dog. So you just got to see, this is Ovi. Hi, Ovi. He's my grand puppy, and he really wants to be in this episode with us. So
we think he walked through poison ivy.
Yeah, so we're trying not
really
to pet him.
Touch him.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yes.
So yeah, I have a couple of resources I could just list right now, just if you're interested in looking up some things. One, we are Canadian, so one Canadian strategy book you might want to look into is called The Smith Maneuver, and you just Google that. It's The Smith Maneuver by Robinson Smith. It's been around since the the early 80s. The Sun has rewritten the book to update it a little bit, and you can look it up on podcasts and YouTube videos, but there is an actual book. There's actually a website, so just Google The Smith Maneuver by Robinson Smith. And the other book, which is a longtime favorite of mine, and it's American, but it's not, it applies, I think, universally to some of the way of life in thinking about money and the value system behind money. And it's called Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robbins and Joe Dominguez. And it's an old book that still applies today. And I just love the way they think about money and, yes, growing your wealth and all of that, but living through your value system, for sure.
Yep.
And I guess I could mention the Die with Zero, since we were just talking about that. Die with Zero by Bill Perkins, which, you know, you can't take it with you. So as you build your wealth, any amount of it, you might want to spend it in celebrating with people you care about. You might want to travel the way you want to travel. You might want to give your children their inheritances while you're alive, and you get to see them, you know, contribute to their first home or whatever it is that they need. You know, you spend it, you know, while you're alive, and budget so that you die with zero.
Yes, that's interesting. Now, I'd like to die with something still myself right now. But I haven't read that book, and I'm interested in looking into that. Anyways, this is just us rambling with
And those books
Ovi.
are all at the library.
You're right.
If you can get a copy, or YouTube videos and podcasts where people interview the authors are also just sort of shortcuts. So you don't have to spend money to get this information.
All right. Well, that's our little...
Okay, like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening. If you got this far through the video, we really appreciate your support.
Yes. Stay tuned. There's more to come. Have a good day. Bye.